Welcome back. Got a charger review today. This time it's for a camera battery and sent in via Nitecore. This particular one is the USN3 Pro, and this works with the batteries for the A mount range cameras and also quite a few of these Sony camcorders listed out on the back of the box there. Also get included your user guide, warranty card and micro USB cable. Length of that is just under 80 centimeters. Looking at the charger, this is a dual slot one, and that's quite interesting, but there's also a couple of other features that we have with this which I will go through. This does accept quick charge, so you'll get faster charging speeds if you're using a USB adapter for that. The design of the charger is very similar to their normal desktop chargers for the standard lithium batteries, similar sort of casing design. Here's a quick shot of the micro USB port. I will show you that in a bit more detail shortly. And here's the battery that I have to test. You only need the 2 pins for the connections on this and just slot it into place. That's just the positive and negative. The third terminal isn't required for charging the batteries. You'll see you have the grooves and marks in there which hold the battery in place. Now putting the micro USB needs a bit of a push in, but you have 2 options. You can have it coming straight out the bottom, or you can push it into the groove in a sort of S shape, and that prevents it from being pulled out accidentally. I much prefer this rather than the ones that I've looked at before. Canon one which had a built-in cable. With this, if you lose the cable or it gets damaged, you can just replace it and it's much longer. Quick size comparison with the original Sony charger on the left, the Nitecore is a bit longer as you would expect, partly because of the extra slot and the LCD panel. The Sony charger is fine, but it's mains powered only, and there is no information other than an amber LED that comes on when you insert the battery, and that goes off when it's finished charging. It takes over 3 hours to charge a battery in that charger. I'm showing the back of it now. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't tell me anything at all how far it's into the charging process, whereas this Nitecore charger offers quite a bit more functionality, which is genuinely useful. When you have it connected to a quick charge adapter USB, you'll see the quick charge come up at the top, and then you insert the battery, you get a voltage readout, you get good, normal or poor come up for the internal resistance. Then it will tell you the charging speed in milliamps and how much it's charged into the cell in milliamp hour. Viewing angles on the display are generally good. It seems to be optimized for slightly in front of the charger, gives you the best indication on the display. It's quite clear. It's only really just slightly behind it where it fades a bit, so a decent job they've done on that, and it is backlit and it stays on all the time when you have it plugged in. Putting a second battery in now just to show you. There are some differences between using a quick charge adapter with this or just plugging it into a normal USB. You'll get the information come up for both cells when you put them in, but the quick charge allows you to charge 2 cells at the same time, and I've put the information on the screen for you there. And in addition to that, it will switch over to the second cell if you remove the first or it's finished charging, and it will increase the charging speed on that. So it's purely plug and play, and you can simply walk away and leave the charger to do its business and then come back and take out the cells. You can see with a normal USB connection here, you need up to 2 amps to get the best charging speed. It will charge up to 1 amp, but if you put 2 cells in, it will charge the first one that you've put in. Doesn't make any difference whether you put it in the bottom or the top, it will always charge the first one that you insert. If it's finished charging one battery, you take one out as I'm showing you here, then it will start charging the other cell. So nice features on this, particularly with the capacity. We'll get onto that in a second, but you will need to have an output that is perhaps not quite 2 amps, but you'll need around 1.2, 1.3 amps, otherwise it won't charge. And if there's not enough current, you'll see the display flicker like this, or it will show 0 milliamps on the display charge. So there's potential for solar charging. I have to look into that a bit more later on. Once it's finished, you'll see the full come up on the display and how much it's charged into the battery. In this case, the cell is in good condition. It's quite a recent one. If you want to test the condition of the batteries, rather the capacity, what you need to do is run the cells right down and make sure it's completely empty, and then put it into the charger, and it will count how much capacity is put into the batteries. In this particular test I have 2 batteries, and I know that the one on the bottom isn't acting up very well. It's not lasting as long in the camera, so you see at the bottom 800 milliamp hour, so that's 50% of its original capacity. So what you want to do is just run those cells down and put them in, and you'll be able to check on the condition of the batteries, and that is a very useful feature. So that's something that you can't do on the original charger, so you've never really got an idea of your battery condition, apart from if the battery doesn't seem to be lasting as long. It's true to say it's not as accurate as a discharge test, but that still provides you with quite a bit of useful information. And what I've started to do is go through the batteries and testing them to see how they're holding up. So any suspect batteries or even third-party batteries that you don't think are performing as well, or maybe they're overstated in capacity, you can run them down, put them in this, and it will give you a good idea of what's going on in terms of the real capacity of the battery. I have put the user guide on screen for you so you can have a quick look at that, and I'll also put a link below where you can download the PDF and look at some of the other features on the charger. Only thing I noted is with the original Sony charger you have a spring-loaded mechanism which spreads out the contacts, and on the Nitecore you don't. A couple of batteries that I inserted, I had to reinsert them. Wasn't a huge problem, but it's something to note. Nothing bad will happen if you short the contacts. It's fully protected in that regard, as well as overcharging, and these cells also have overcharge and discharge protection on the actual circuit inside the battery. There's 2 cells in there, so it's a very safe charger to use. So Nitecore have done a nice job on this, apart from the point that I mentioned with the contacts. Would like to see them come out with some batteries, because the original batteries are quite expensive from different camera makers. Hopefully they'll do that, but they do have quite a big range of chargers out there for different cameras. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.